coming and letting me interview you today. I just have a couple of questions to ask you, and you just let me know how you feel, and then you can just keep going. I'm not going to stop you, okay? So, the first question is, what's important in your life right now?
Right now, the most important thing to me in my life is getting through school so I can become an RN. It's very tedious watching other people your age basically already making money, and it's very tempting to just drop out of school and start working full-time at some job. So it definitely takes discipline trying to stay through school and stay focused so you can get all your prereqs and classes done. Also, it's very tempting to take the more expensive UC Cal State private route because it is more expensive, but you do save time. But to me, I think the money is more important than the time. I'd rather wait 3 years to get into school than to spend $165,000 to get in right away. That's just not very smart to me. Even though you could, the good argument is to start working right away and you'll be able to pay off that debt in 2-3 years. I don't know, I think you just being patient to get into a program teaches you a more valuable lesson than just paying money to take the shortcut. I think that's a good lesson for life because patience is very thin nowadays, and a lot of people just use their money to solve their problems for them. So the most important thing to me right now is getting through school, becoming an RN, and settling down.
Okay. So, with all the pressure in your life currently, so how do you push yourself? How do you keep yourself motivated?
Well, I just take it 1 week at a time. If you look at the curriculum or a class syllabus and you look at your schedule, you're going to become overwhelmed if you look at from day 1 to day 90. You're going to see all these tests, you're going to see all this material you need to learn. But if you just take it 1 week at a time and just section it out, it makes your life a lot better. And most definitely looking at people who are more successful than you definitely helps out. Pushing you to strive towards a better future for yourself, because especially living in California, it's very hard to make it. It takes multiple people to live in one household to be able to afford rent, and that's kind of scary. So looking at examples like that definitely pushes me to strive for better grades in school so I can get into a program faster, get a better job, and start making better money.
Okay. So, with the things that push you, what else do you do for you to relax and take that time off?
Well, you just have to find things that you have to find a balance. And for me, that balance would be probably watching Netflix, watching TV shows, exercising, like going for a run, or going to the skate park and just forgetting about all your priorities just for even 30 minutes to an hour can be very healthy for your mind to ease you and relax you. And yeah, there is definite pressure on your life, especially as a young adult. Going through school, you're learning all these things, taxes, money, financial issues and financial priorities. So definitely taking an edge off with whether it be exercise, TV, or whatever you choose to do, it's very important to take time off and remember that life's about enjoying, not rushing through it.
And what would you say out of all those things that you stated would be your biggest interest, like your biggest hobby that you would always go back on?
Probably skateboarding and exercising, mainly because it's not entirely free, but the more money you spend, I don't know, because personally people would like to spend money going out to eat or going out to LA and going to a nightclub and spending $200 a night just to take an edge off. I find that to be financially irresponsible. While once a night, maybe once a month, that would make sense. But if you constantly are feeling pressured, you're gonna always want to strive towards that $200 a night out at Hollywood for every weekend, and that's just going to add up. Versus if you go for a run, for example, buying one pair of running shoes can last you 6 months to a year, and that $180 investment can last you that long. And you get other benefits like improved health, you learn discipline and perseverance, definitely when you exercise. And yeah, that's what's most important to me.
So if you took exercise or skateboarding outside or out of your life, how would you feel?
I'm a very adaptive person, so I think even if you were to take that out of my life, I would find something else that's cost effective that I also enjoy, like reading a book. Books are very cheap nowadays, and you can learn millions of things from books. I would also probably just play video games to take the edge off. I mean, when you start limiting things that you enjoy, it definitely pushes you outside of your comfort zone and gets you to try new things. And that's another important skill that you can learn throughout life.
Okay. Besides getting through school and wanting to become an art, and what else, like what other hopes and dreams you may have?
Living in a nice property, most definitely, because life is about living. And I definitely think that investing in a nice home or a nice property at the least would greatly improve your outlook on life. Unfortunately, not everyone can afford that kind of lifestyle of living in a nice 2-story home, but I'd say most definitely traveling the world too. Traveling the world, having a nice home, maybe even starting a family, maybe. That's like bottom of the list though. But maybe even pursuing higher education, past nursing, maybe a different career or a different source of income would be a good exercise for me. Branching out into different fields, maybe going to a vocational school for something else later down the line if I get tired of nursing and I want to do something else, or maybe take an even more creative route, start a photography thing or some kind of artistic route. That would be nice.
So, what is the biggest difference coming into school and pushing yourself to becoming and wanting to be a nurse? Is there a big difference from when you came from high school and then you're transitioning to college? What would be the biggest difference for you?
I definitely think the biggest difference would be the transition from adolescence / teen years to being an adult. Because when you're in high school, your main focus is definitely school. And while that should be the most important thing in your life, as a kid, there's also social stuff that you worry about. But when you come into adulthood and go into college and all that, you have more stuff you want to worry about. Like you have bills that need to be paid, maybe even part-time jobs that you have to look into. And having those pressures on top of school being your main priority can definitely become overwhelming. And while high school is overwhelming, I definitely agree that college is a completely different ball game, and that's why not everyone chooses to go to college or finish / stay in college, because there's just so much more pressures outside of high school when you're living on your own and have bills to pay, and you have all these extra worries in your life. School kind of becomes a fallback for some people because the money is what drives their life, not a promising career in the future. And while college isn't for everyone, you can take your own route. You don't have to go the college way. While it does almost always guarantee and secure a private, while it always secures a good future for you, college isn't for everyone, and do what you want to do.
So how were you able to accept that there's a difference between just focusing on your social life and then coming here into college and just being focused on school and bills and everything to pay? How are you able to accept that?
I think when you become an adult, you just have to push through it. You're not always going to have a safety net like your parents when you get older. So you just kind of have to accept things for how they are. That's what being an adult's all about. And you can whine and cry and complain, but at the end of the day, it's you that controls your life at the end of the day, not your parents, not your spouse, not your husband, not your partner or whoever. It's you. And definitely when you have all these outside pressures, you have to turn toward yourself and ask yourself what's the best thing you think you should do. Or maybe even turn to a friend. But you're the most important thing in your life, and you're the one at the end of the day who has to suffer for the consequences and the choices that you make.
That's a good statement. So how would you say, what does it mean to you when the term is called getting yourself together? What would that mean for you?
Definitely learning responsibility for yourself and your actions, and knowing that you might have a $200 bill that needs to be paid at the end of the month, and you have to sacrifice going out or buying something that you really wanted in order to pay that bill, like your light bill or your rent, if it's ever $200. Definitely realizing that you have to put money towards what's more important in your life compared to what you want. Needs and wants are two totally different things, and being an adult definitely teaches you that.
Let me think of another question.
Just one more question.
Yeah. When you hear the word freedom, what is the first thing you think of?
In the famous words of Janis Joplin, freedom is just another word for nothing left to lose. And freedom definitely means to me more money, because money does free you. It allows you to do things that you want to do. It allows you to travel places, allows you to do things that you want to do, and that's basically freedom, is doing what you want to do whenever you want to do it. In America, we kind of have a false sense of freedom, or a freedom that comes at a cost, and that cost is sacrificing your time and your values to make money in order to buy the things that you want or do the things that you want. And that's freedom to me, is doing what you want to do when you want to do it, how you want to do it.
Okay. So would you say that money is a big factor in what you want to contribute to freedom, or is that what you're chasing for? Is it just money, or what allows you to be free from that concept of money?
Well, money definitely drives me, but I wouldn't say it's the main thing in my life. While it is super crucial and really important when you go out into the real world, money is just this created thing, and money doesn't buy you happiness. So I'd say for me, my career choice isn't based on money or monetary value. It's what I feel good doing and what creates a sense of purpose in my career and my future. And that's what drives me to do it, not the money. But the money is a good side factor for it, for sure. But the job isn't easy, and you do get paid for what you do. Some might not agree, but I think you get a good amount of money for what you do.
Okay. Well, thank you again.
Thank you.